Brothers and sisters, the last 5 years, it's been this new focus on the new Black Panther Party. Now, the name Black Panther Party has always piqued certain interest in this country, and it stokes fear just by mentioning the name, or represents fear. Excuse me. But how many of you actually know the history and legacy of the new Black Panther Party or the Black Panther Party? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you look at both parties, both of them in historical context, it's not that much difference in them, except that the language has gotten a lot rougher in some ways. Now, I guess that's the best way I can describe the language. These brothers and sisters, all they want is for their people to live in peace and be respected. That's all they want. But because you have dark skinned black men, dark skinned black women speaking up and saying they would defend themselves by any means necessary, they're looked upon as a threat because the media and certain people outside the media and certain groups have deemed them to be the new enemy. Never mind you that these men have never killed or women have killed anybody. Now I know before you guys start saying what about the Panthers that supposedly did this and did that. Well, guess what? If you research a lot of it, you know a lot of these are bogus claims. But the fact remains, how many people are going to take up their issues or are going to go out there and go to bat for them? Not a whole hell of a lot. Here it is in our community. We've always been resistant to brothers and sisters who speak truth to power. Think I'm lying? Talk to the nation about somebody about the Nation of Islam and watching negative stuff comes out of it. And I ain't talking about white folk. I'm talking about black people. People forget that Malcolm X was a pariah in the community, but yet today, black men and black women and even children who barely know of Malcolm, only know of the Spike Lee's movie, will sit there and say they love Brother Malcolm without understanding what Malcolm stood for really. Same thing with the Black Panther Party. How many people know the reason why they took arms is because police officers come into certain communities and doing things over and over again. Things were being neglected in our community. Funds are being diverted. But during the early 70s, the Black Panther Party was systematically destroyed or broken off into different groups. So there's mystique formed around it. So sometime in the 80s or late 80s, it reemerged. But this time, the brothers and sisters who were children or young adults at that time came back with an even stronger message of black power. But unfortunately, that word has so many negative connotations, or people have to find the black equivalent to white power. People was associated with being racism. Now, I'm not going to lie. These brothers and sisters don't give a damn about white people. But that doesn't mean they want to go see a white person dead necessarily. Now, I know the little short guy right there. He said his famous video and said, I want to kill some crackers or something to that point. But understand the point he used the term crackers. If you understand the historical meaning of the word crackers and where it came from, you will understand why he felt that way. It's no different than a person who's being Jewish saying they can't stand Hitler or Nazis or wishing death upon anybody who want to do them harm. But it seems to me is that the black man and black woman can't have that type of attitude. Here it is, the Tea Party walked around in the nation's capital with weapons. And nobody's raised a red flag saying, you know what, we have a history of assassinations in this country. Governors, mayors, presidents have been shot and killed because some lone gunman or some group took it upon themselves to go out there and say that we're going to take the law in our own hands. The Black Panther Party don't have that type of history. Black Panther Party get called militant, or they won't even call militia. I don't think they'll say militant because they want to use the same terms to describe them, which is cool. But think about it. All throughout history, there have been white men and white women who have a history of blowing up buildings, taking people hostage, shooting up people. Our people don't have that history. But you see all the dumb comments and videos that pop up about the Black Panther Party. When people don't understand that these are men and women, whether we agree with their tactics or not, and some of the stuff I don't agree with. All they want is for their people to be be treated as human beings. Every group on this planet have a group or a subgroup that speaks blunt speak, who talks about revolution. But when it gets to us, everybody comes out and say, "Oh, no, 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 can't have them speaking." This is why I don't trust the Southern Poverty Law, because they know damn well you cannot equate the Black Panther Party to these other groups. These brothers and sisters are heavily monitored, and if you think they're not, you're naive. It's not a large number of them, but there's enough of them out there getting the message across. Now, if I had my way with it, I would tell these brothers and sisters to reorganize. Take off the black. Get somebody out there that can actually stand head to head with these reporters. Or in fact, don't even get granted any of these. Just go out there and do. But when you start talking about revolution, you better understand that there are going to be people going to hit you from all sides. Even those who claim to be liberal or those who claim to be passionate conservatives have joined forces in denouncing the new Black Panther Party. But what troubles me the most is when you have blacks that do it, and they call them fools and stuff. But these brothers or sisters are really serious about dying for the cause. Here it is, we criticize black people for not standing up, speaking up for themselves, but yet those who do, we criticize them. I know that all too well. But then I came across a video of a YouTube, and I normally don't do this. I try not to, but I want to show, I'm sorry about that, this image right here, this guy. I don't know if he's white, I don't know if he's Cuban or Mexican, but he put up a video, a reply, New Black Panther Party, in parentheses, Black Cloud Clan, offers 10K. I want to play a little snippet of what he said.
And you're going to force the government to do something? You obviously have very little faith in your idea that you don't seem to believe, but I believe that this government's corrupt as hell. You don't force the government to do anything. So you're going to force the government to do its job, or? If they don't, we will. So what's their job? Their job is just to mindlessly kill, because you're buying into the mainstream media's portrayal, where they over-whiten the guy's face. The guy is as white as Obama, which I know somebody like you behind closed doors would probably acknowledge that you hate the fact that Obama is half white. He's a half white guy. This guy's a half white guy. This guy's Peruvian. But buy into that line. Buy into the line that it's white against black and that this is your cause. Go for it. You know why you're a coward? Black Coward Party, all of you from the Black Panthers, anyone who thinks like this, you know why you're a coward? And why you're weak? Not because you wouldn't fuck me up if you found me. No, you might. At least you try to. Especially if you were in a group or if you had a weapon. Here's why you're a coward and you're weak. It's because you can't accept the fact that it's not the black community or the white community that black people have to fear. Black people are killing each other. Black teen is more likely to die from another black teen. You're a fucking coward for not acknowledging that. The real source. And when people like you acknowledge that, you say, we need to stop killing each other. They put guns in our neighborhood, so we'll kill each other. Right, it's not the fault of the person killing it. So if he didn't have a gun, maybe he wouldn't have killed. That's some coward shit. Some worms have hooks. Malcolm X. You are now Malcolm X. You can barely string a fucking sentence together.
Now you see that? Now you see how easy it was for a person who was not identified as black to criticize you for criticizing the government and the techniques. Now granted, there are black men and black women out there killing each other. But guess what? There are white people out there killing each other. But you never hear us say to them, white on white violence. You don't even have that term. But the moment we sit there and go after somebody, I guess he figured because Zimmerman is a person of color. Granted, I know there are going to be people arguing with his daddy's Jewish and his daddy identifies as a white man. But let's be honest, when you look at Zimmerman, you don't see nothing white in him. People of color genetics usually trump white people, okay? But this person want to sit there and say that we're not talking about black violence. You don't know that. You don't live in our communities. There are brothers like myself, and I know of brothers in the new Black Panther Party out there trying to get our brothers and sisters to stand down from killing each other. But when you have people like that always saying that the black man is ineffectual. He's the reason why this shit is going on. You have no understanding of what they are. Reverend Jackson, Reverend Sharpton, Reverend Wright, Mr. Farrakhan, and so many others out here have talked about violence against other black people by the hands of black people. But let's be honest. Drugs, alcohol, and weapons are depositing our community for that fact that they know that they're going to be weak-minded people. People with insecurities are going to turn themselves. This is what they do. They put the resources, negative resources, I should say, in our community, and they let stuff happen. If you think I'm exaggerating, why is it that in a predominantly black community, that the curriculum does not reflect our people? I'm not saying disavow other historical events, but why aren't we not talking about Marcus Garvey? Why are we not talking about the history of our people in a concise way? Why are young white women sent into schools to interact with our young black boys, and we found later they've had sexual relations with them? And the same thing for white male teachers with our girls. But when we talk about it, people say we're exaggerating. It isn't until there's a slow news cycle and somebody catches this stuff, then everybody want to talk about it. It wouldn't be a need for the new Black Panther Party. It wouldn't be a need for Reverend Jackson, Reverend Sharpton, or Minister Farrakhan, Reverend Wright, or brothers like and sisters like myself to speak about these issues if they didn't exist. Now, as I said before, do I agree with all the techniques and the things that come out of the new Black Panther Party? No. But to be fair, if you took the old Black Panther Party and stood next to them, people would say the same thing. This is why I say a lot of our organizations need to do a reboot, or need to step back and say, we ain't going to say everything. We're just going to do it. Learn the laws. This is what I've said in all my videos. Learn the laws, learn your history. Then you can combat this violence. But I find it arrogant that a white man or a man who appears to be white can sit there and call a group of people who've been the victims of racism for over 500 more years cowards for saying that we're going to go after these people who do harm to us. Now, there are brothers and sisters like myself, and even the new Black Panther Party want to go after those black men and black women, black children who do harm within our community. But we're always stopped. Oh, you can't take law in your own hands. Don't do this. Let the police do it. If you see something, call the police. And brothers and sisters have called the police. But the media pushed this image that is no snitching. And then you had these handkerchief head bought celebrities out there saying, oh, don't snitch. Please. But don't sit here and let the Southern Poverty Law, these people compare the Black Panther Party or the new Black Panther Party or the Nation of Islam or any black man or black woman who doesn't toe the line with white people as somehow the equivalent to the Klan or neo-Nazis or other militias. As I said before, we need to reorganize. But we do have the right to defend ourselves. But the problem is seeing two dark-skinned black men or a group of dark-skinned black men standing strong scares the fuck out of everybody. And we just got to be honest with that.